What if I told you that almost everything you believe about confidence is wrong? We grow up thinking confidence is about speaking louder, looking tougher, or performing perfectly so everyone notices us. But the truth is, confidence has very little to do with appearance and almost nothing to do with being flawless. Real confidence is something deeper, something quieter, and far more powerful. It's not about how the world sees you. It's about how you see yourself when you open your mouth to speak. In the next few minutes, I want to take you beyond the surface and show you what confidence really is. Not the kind you fake for a crowd, but the kind that builds unshakable presence no matter where you are or who's watching. Because once you understand this, you'll stop chasing the feeling of confidence and start living it. So stay with me until the very end, because this isn't just another talk about believing in yourself. This is a roadmap to changing the way you show up, the way you speak, and the way people feel your presence when you enter a room. If you've ever struggled with doubt, hesitation, or the fear of not being enough, this message is for you. And I promise you, by the time we're done, confidence will mean something entirely different to you than it does right now. Confidence is not being loud, it's being clear. Too often, people mistake confidence for volume, as if raising your voice automatically makes your words more believable. But volume without clarity is just noise. Real confidence doesn't come from shouting over others. It comes from making your message impossible to ignore, because it is sharp, direct, and carries weight. Think about it. When someone speaks with true certainty, they don't need to overcompensate with force. They strip away the extra words, the nervous filler, and the unnecessary explanations. They choose words that mean something, and they deliver them in a way that leaves no confusion about their intention. That is clarity, and clarity is power. The reason clarity feels so powerful is because it requires you to know what you stand for. You can't be clear if you haven't done the inner work of asking yourself what matters to you, what you believe, and what truth you're willing to stand behind. Loudness can be faked, but clarity can't. When you're clear, you're exposed, and that's what makes it magnetic. People listen to clarity because it signals courage. It signals that you are not afraid of being understood. Imagine walking into a meeting or having a tough conversation. You don't need to dominate the room by being the loudest voice there. You simply need to say what you mean with precision and calm strength. People will lean in, not because you're demanding their attention, but because you've earned it. That's the difference. Loudness tries to take attention. Clarity attracts it. So if you want to be confident, don't focus on how strong or loud you sound. Focus on making your words simple, true, and direct. Because when you are clear, confidence takes care of itself. Confidence comes from self-trust, not from having all the answers. One of the biggest misconceptions people carry is the idea that you need to know everything before you can speak with confidence. They wait for the perfect knowledge, the perfect timing, or the perfect set of facts, and because of that, they hold themselves back. But real confidence doesn't come from perfection. It comes from believing in yourself enough to handle whatever comes after you speak. It's not about predicting every question or preparing for every possible reaction. It's about trusting that you are capable of navigating what comes your way. Self-trust is the foundation of presence. When you trust yourself, you don't need to hide behind complicated explanations or avoid conversations out of fear of being wrong. You know that even if you don't have the complete answer, you have the resourcefulness to figure it out, the humility to learn, and the courage to keep moving forward. That's what makes people listen. They aren't drawn to someone who pretends to know it all. They're drawn to someone who can stand tall in uncertainty and still move with strength. Think about the people you respect most. They're not flawless, and they don't claim to be. They're steady. They say what they know, they admit what they don't. And they carry themselves in a way that shows they believe in their ability to adapt. That kind of energy is magnetic because it gives everyone else permission to stop chasing perfection and start showing up as they are. So when you're speaking, stop asking yourself, do I know everything? And start asking, do I trust myself enough to handle this moment? Because confidence doesn't require you to be all-knowing. It requires you to be unshakable in the belief that you'll figure it out. Confidence is about alignment, not approval. Too often, people confuse confidence with the ability to impress others or win their acceptance. They think if the crowd claps, if the audience nods, if the group agrees, then they've spoken with confidence. But that isn't confidence. That's performance. Real confidence is when your words and your values are aligned, when what you say reflects what you truly believe, even if not everyone agrees with you. It's about standing in truth, not bending to gain applause. When you speak for approval, you give away your power. You make your voice dependent on someone else's reaction. And the moment they disapprove, your confidence collapses. But when you speak from alignment, you don't need their approval to feel grounded. You know you're standing on something solid because your words match your principles. That kind of confidence cannot be shaken by a frown, silence, or even criticism. It remains steady because it doesn't depend on external validation. It's built from within. Think about the people whose words leave an impact. They're not necessarily the most charming or agreeable, but they are the most authentic. They speak from a place that is real. And that's why their message cuts through the noise. People may not always like it, but they respect it because alignment has a weight that approval seeking never carries. The truth is, not everyone will like what you have to say, and that's okay. Confidence is not about being liked. It's about being true. When you are aligned, your words carry a conviction that approval chasing can never replicate. So the next time you speak, don't ask yourself, will they accept this? Ask yourself, does this align with who I am? Because that's where confidence really lives. Confidence is presence, not performance. Many people think being confident means putting on a show, perfect delivery, flawless timing, the right gestures, and the right tone. They try to act their way into confidence, and it often comes across as forced or fake. True confidence doesn't come from performing for others. It comes from being fully present in the moment. Presence is when you're grounded enough to let go of how you look and focus instead on truly connecting with the person in front of you. When you're present, people can feel it. They feel that you're not rushing ahead in your mind. You're not rehearsing your next sentence. And you're not pretending to be someone you're not. You're here with them, fully engaged, and that kind of energy is powerful. People remember how you made them feel, not how polished your performance was. Presence makes your words land deeper because it carries authenticity, and authenticity is always more convincing than perfection. Think about it. Have you ever spoken to someone who looked perfect on the outside, but you felt no connection? And then you've met someone who stumbled on their words, but spoke with so much honesty and attention that you couldn't look away. That's the difference between performance and presence. Performance is about impressing. Presence is about impacting. When you stop worrying about how you're being judged and instead focus on being fully engaged in the moment, your natural confidence rises. You don't have to try to be impressive because presence is impressive on its own. So the next time you want to speak with confidence, don't think about performing. Ground yourself, breathe, and be fully there. Because when you're truly present, confidence flows naturally without effort. Confidence grows through discomfort, not comfort. Most people wait for the day when they'll feel completely ready, calm, and fearless before they speak with confidence. But that day never comes because confidence is not built in the easy moments. It's forged in the uncomfortable ones. Every time you step into a situation that makes your heart race, your palms sweat, or your voice shake, and you push through it anyway, you're teaching yourself something powerful. I can handle this. That's how real confidence is born. Discomfort is the training ground for growth. If you only speak when you feel safe, if you only show up when you know you won't be challenged, you'll never expand your confidence. But the moment you step into the unknown and survive it, your nervous system rewires. Your body remembers. You start to realize that fear doesn't have to control you, and that even in moments of uncertainty, you can still stand strong. That lived experience gives you a kind of unshakable confidence no amount of theory or preparation can create. Think about any skill you've mastered in life. At first, it was awkward, messy, and uncomfortable. But each attempt built familiarity, and familiarity built confidence. Speaking with confidence works the same way. You don't eliminate discomfort before acting. You act through the discomfort, and the confidence follows. So don't wait for comfort to arrive before you show up. Use discomfort as your ally. Step into the conversation, face the challenge, and embrace the awkwardness. Because every uncomfortable moment you face is another brick in the foundation of your confidence. Growth doesn't come from staying safe. It comes from daring to be seen, even when it feels hard. That's how confidence truly grows. Confidence is not what most people think it is. It's not about being the loudest person in the room, having every answer prepared, or performing flawlessly so everyone claps for you. Real confidence is about being clear with your words, trusting yourself when you don't have it all figured out, staying aligned with your values instead of chasing approval, showing up fully present rather than pretending to be perfect, and embracing discomfort as the place where growth is born. When you live these truths, confidence stops being something you chase and starts becoming who you are. So, the next time you speak, don't measure your confidence by how others react. Measure it by your clarity, your presence, and your willingness to stand tall, even in discomfort. That's the kind of confidence that lasts, the kind that leaves an impact long after the words are spoken. I want to wish you good luck on your journey of stepping into that kind of confidence. Every time you choose clarity over noise, alignment over approval, and courage over comfort, you are building a stronger version of yourself. And thank you for giving me your time and focus today. Your attention is valuable, and I hope these words push you to believe more in your own voice. Keep going, because the world needs the confident, clear, and authentic version of you.